make a woman orgasm just by playing with her breasts. It's true, but most of us have never been shown how. Now, if you haven't made a woman climax from breast stimulation before, or if you've never even considered that it is possible, you are not alone. Most of us were not taught about the potential that breasts have for women's pleasure. So we end up squishing or groping or ignoring them entirely. And if we've never been shown how to touch with intention, then it is no surprise that most women have never experienced how good it can feel. In fact, touching a woman's breasts can be its own standalone sexual experience. So today, I'm gonna give you 5 essential tips for how to touch a woman's breasts in a way that doesn't just feel good, but could actually make her climax. And if you wanna take this even further, I have a free breast massage guide that you can grab right now that breaks this all down step by step. Link in the description. All right, let's get into it. Tip number 1, warm her up slowly. Breasts are an erotic zone, but just like the vagina, they don't turn on like a switch. If you want your partner to feel really intense pleasure here, you have got to take your time, and I mean a lot of time. So start slow. Think of this as seduction, warmth, and anticipation. Think light, grazing touch. Kiss her chest, kiss her sternum, the flat part in between her breasts. Let your hands roam all over her sides, her collarbones, her shoulders. Tease the area around her breasts without diving right in. Because the more that you warm her up, the more that you will awaken these nerve endings. They're not like the nerve endings of the clit. They're far more asleep because they're not used to getting this kind of stimulation. And remember, along the way, you are not just touching skin. You're actually engaging what are known as C-tactile or CT afferent nerve fibers, which are specially tuned to respond to slow, gentle, affectionate touch. These fibers actually send signals to the emotional centers of the brain, not just the sensory ones, which create a deep feeling of closeness, arousal, and trust, and actually primes her body for pleasure and orgasm. Another reason why it's so crucial to build up slowly here is that women's breasts have wildly different sensitivity levels. Some women enjoy working up to an aggressive touch, others can barely handle a little flick. A lot of women said to me, I don't really like having my breasts touched. I don't really like having my nipples stimulated. I can't really take a lot of touch here or a lot of stimulation here. And when I do my breast massage technique on them, all of them, 100% so far, have told me that they were able to experience a lot more intense stimulation and that it was very, very pleasurable because I started really slow. It's also worth noting that some women experience numbness in parts of their breasts. If they have breastfed, if they're currently breastfeeding, that changes their sensitivity. And women who have had surgeries like implants, lifts, or reductions may also experience numbness along the way. Starting slow is what allows you to gauge your partner's preferences. It is what allows you to know where she's sensitive and what feels good. And that is what you need to know in order to bring her to the edge and over it. Tip number 2, don't just zone in on the nipples. Based on tip number 1, this might sound obvious, but most of us need to be reminded not to go straight for the nipples. I know they kind of look like a target right in the middle there, and you're aiming for the bullseye. And yeah, they are a major hotspot. But if you treat her nipples like little pleasure buttons that you're trying to mash, you are missing out on so much erotic potential. Because the whole breast, the underside, the outer edges, the inner edges, the area where the breast meets the chest, all of it is filled with sensitive tissue. All of it is filled with nerve endings. All of it has emotional associations. So think of her breasts like a map. If you go straight for the destination without exploring the whole terrain, you're not really getting the full experience. Try using both hands to hold, massage, mold her entire breasts one at a time, or creatively with both. Use your palms to create warmth and pressure. Drag your fingertips, gently knead the tissue in circles. Let your touch be curious, not mechanical. The more you awaken her whole chest, the more sensitive and responsive her nipples will be when you do get there. Tip number 3, use different pressures and textures. One of the biggest mistakes that we tend to make is that we find one technique and then we stick with it. We become sort of mechanical. We go over and over with the same speed, the same pressure, doing the same move. But variety is what actually keeps her engaged, both physically and mentally. So make sure that you are mixing things up. Alternate between light fingertip strokes and firmer pressure with your whole hand. Use your palms to create warmth and your thumbs for more targeted stimulation. Try light pinching, try squeezing, try circling, try dragging. If you bring your mouth into the mix, even better, try combining a warm, soft tongue with a firm grip with your hands. Play with contrast, so light, breathy kisses followed by firmer squeezes. The more that you layer in, the more that you will keep her nervous system curious and activated, which is what leads to more intense pleasure. Tip number 4, connect her breasts with the rest of her body. We talked about this before, but breast stimulation isn't just about the breasts. It's actually about what's happening everywhere else. And the same can be said for any other kind of sexual stimulation too. If you want to make her orgasm from breast massage, you've got to get everything involved. And by everything, I don't just mean her body, but also your intention, your spirit, your energetic connection. One of the best ways to do this is by syncing your breath with her breath and syncing your touch with her breathing. In order to do this, watch how her breath changes and match your rhythm to hers. Breathe in when she inhales, breathe out when she exhales. And when her breath deepens, your breath deepens, as do your strokes, as does your touch. So follow her breath, allow her breath to be your guide. Then you're really bringing in her whole nervous system and you're actually syncing your nervous system to hers. It's gonna make it so much easier to follow her cues and to be deeply attuned with her. You can also start combining breast stimulation with other forms of pleasure. For example, if you are using your other hand to gently rub her clit, or maybe you're going back and forth between licking and kissing other parts of her body and bringing your mouth back to her breast, you can bring in that sort of layered stimulation that goes from A to B to A to B and creates a sort of layered circuit of stimulation and of pleasure, and that will help to also bring her over the edge. Watch my content on variation and titration if you want more on that concept. And then tip number 5, stay present. This is the most important tip of all. You've got to stay tuned in. You cannot go on autopilot here. You cannot start chasing goals. This is not about achieving an orgasm. It is about building trust and connection and deeply tuning into her sensitivity. That's because every woman is different. Every set of breasts is different. Your breasts change week over week. They can even feel different in the morning than they did at night. And what felt good in the past or on your last partner may not feel good for this partner. So be responsive. Watch her very closely. And if you're not sure, just ask. Ask her what feels best. Don't ever assume. Get curious. And I'm going to be honest with you, following these steps may sound challenging. If you're thinking right now, that sounds hard, I totally understand. And that's why I created a free breast massage guide. In it, I teach you how to touch and tease and build up that full body arousal, not just using your hands, but also your attention. So if you want to turn her on like never before, give her a climax that she's maybe never experienced, you can grab the free guide at the link in the description below. I'm Caitlin V, sex and relationship coach. Thank you so much for watching. And if you aren't already subscribed, then hit the button below for weekly videos that cover all things sex and relationships. And I'll see you here next time.